Hello, I'm a web designer and I have a lot of clients who approach me slightly scarred from less than ideal past experiences with designers or agencies that were ultimately not a good fit for their needs. And because of that, they are now looking for a website rebuild. So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I would tell a good friend or one of my siblings if they came to me and said, Anna, I'm interviewing designers to build my website or my business's website. Can you give me some pointers about how I should approach these conversations? So I'm going to talk through exactly what I would say are basically the 4 most important things I would tell them they should get answers to and make sure they're comfortable with before signing a contract in order to minimize the likelihood that they will want their website totally redone in a year. Number 1 question I would ask is, which platform will you use to create my website? Follow-up questions to this would be, why do you think that this platform specifically is a good fit for me or my business? And what are the limitations or downsides of this platform? You could also ask the designer or agency, what are all of the platforms that you build on? And if the designer says that they only build on this one tool that they're suggesting for your website, I wouldn't say this alone is a red flag or a deal breaker, but I would say in this case, really in any scenario, I would just encourage you, the person hiring the designer, to do some basic research, 10 minutes, just to make sure you're comfortable moving forward with the specific tool that's being suggested for you. So make sure you understand the basic pros and cons. No tool is perfect, but it's all about what is the best fit and makes the most sense for you. I've had WordPress clients come to me and say that they've had nothing but frustrations with updating their plugins or trying to adjust their layouts. And they had no idea when they hired a designer in the past that it was going to be this challenging, and they don't have access to a designer or a developer to help them. So they're very frustrated, understandably. I've also had people approach me and they have Squarespace or Wix sites, and they want to add all of these bells and whistles, updates to those sites, not realizing that none of those are possible to do with those tools without a bunch of custom code. So long story short, as a client, you don't need to be an expert in all of these tools. I would just say, make sure you understand the basics so that a year into having your website, you don't have a ton of surprises. Okay, number 2, what are your special strengths as a web designer? So let me elaborate on this one. With this question, what are you known for? What's kind of your specialty? I won't tell you to look for a very specific answer here, but what I would encourage you to ask yourself going into a conversation is, what's most important to me with my new website? Different websites are kind of optimized for different types of goals. For example, is your website's ability to convert and sell a very specific product or service the most important thing to you? If that's the case, you might want to work with a designer that has experience with marketing or advertising. Another example, is it very important to you that your website is super unique and that really makes a statement? If that's the case, you probably want to make sure you're working with a designer that creates very customized websites, potentially somebody who offers custom animations or who specializes in these very individually tailored solutions. And of course, you always want to see examples of kind of the general type of site that you're looking for in that designer's portfolio. So for this one, before going into these conversations with your potential designer or agencies, I would basically just take a little bit of time and consider what is most important for you. And then you can ask specific questions to try to tease out whether that designer or agency is going to be a good fit to meet your specific priorities. Number 3. So I would recommend asking/getting clarity on what will be expected from you, the client, during the website process. So again, with this one, there's no real right way for someone to answer this. It just kind of depends on what you, the client, are most comfortable with. So the reason I think this one is really good to ask about is that different web designers have surprisingly super different ways of working. Some designers want a lot of client involvement. element. So for example, they will expect you to write the copy or provide the content for the website. Sometimes they will want or require you to provide all of the image assets. They'll prefer that you've done a photo shoot before they even start on the website. On the other hand, some designers really prioritize having the least amount of work possible for the client. And for some people, that's really appealing. They basically just want to know when the website is going to be done or when it's ready for review. And then for other people, they actually don't mind a more collaborative, involved process. So it's just about thinking about what your preference would be and then assessing whether this designer will provide you with that type of experience or process that you're looking for. Number 4, the last thing that I'm going to recommend is making sure that you understand how the project timelines and pricing structure will work. This is more of a logistical item, but there is a huge range in terms of how different designers work. Some web designers do 1 or 2 week sprints that are very rigorous and they are able to get websites created pretty quickly. Other people spend weeks or potentially even months developing a website. So just consider what project timeline you are looking for. And of course, make sure you understand the pricing, whether you can expect any additional potential costs to come up during the project. So if I was advising a friend, I would say it's great to work with designers that offer a few different options for timelines and pricing, just so that you have some clear choices. But again, not to sound like a broken record, I would just go into the conversation having thought a bit about what would work well for you and whether the designer seems like a good fit to give that to you. So I hope this video helps you find the perfect fit for your project and that it helps you sign that contract feeling super confident. Good luck.